So Morning Blow and Hardball Chris Matthews still have no clue why Joe Biden was terrible at the 2024 debate or at the debates in 2020. No, I didn't stutter. I didn't stammer. You heard me correctly. Morning Blow on BSDNC and Chris Matthews still have no clue why Joe Biden was terrible. Even as the country burns, literally. They don't know why he was so. It's because he didn't have a functioning brain. He wasn't all there in 2020, and he wasn't all there for these 4 years. There was the lights were on, but nobody was home. No, wait, correction. The lights were off. Nobody was home because the brain was vacated. Okay, there was nothing in there. So shout out to Case Study QB. I don't know how you sit through this. Case, you're one of the dauntless few. But folks, you don't have to take my word for it. Here he is, Morning Blow, simping for Joe. Simping. He's a simp.
And again, I want to go to the debate, the night of the debate. Anybody that says to you they saw that coming is lying.
Okay, here.
Hold on. I am trying not to yell here. But I've been talking about this for 4 years. Why Joe Biden was not mentally fit. My colleague Daniel and I covered the 2020 Democratic primary. He saw the same thing. I saw the same thing. You saw the same thing. Jimmy Dore saw the same thing. Everyone in independent media, the crew at INN, everybody saw it. There was no denying that there was something wrong with Joe Biden. I've had relatives, and I knew people who had family members that were suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's. You see the signs. You know what it looks like. Anybody that tells you that Joe Biden was perfectly healthy and fine, not only through the 2020 primaries, but through his 4 years, is lying to you. Sorry, I don't mean to snap. I don't mean to snap, but I don't like being lied to.
And again, I want to go to the debate, the night of the debate. Anybody that says to you they saw that coming is lying.
Okay, here's what I saw coming. Here's what I saw coming.
Did not see that coming.
In the 20 debate, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders were waving their hands constantly, waving their hands at the camera. Let me talk. Let me interview. Let me do this. And all the time, Biden was sat there like a cigar store Indian or something.
Some honesty. Because, folks, let's be very clear. I remember covering the Democratic primary. All right. Now, Bernie Sanders was a nutless wonder. He wasn't in 2016. He was the same thing in 2020. But to be clear, he was gaining momentum and he was gaining a lot of power. All right. And yet he threw it away like the coward he is. But to be very clear here, folks, during that time frame, the establishment was trying to do everything they can to derail and end his campaign. All right. And yes, Biden was their go-to guy, but even the media was saying, is Biden all there? Was Biden all there? And they tried to bring out Bet on My Stork, Pete Buttigieg, dodge, dip, dive, and dodge again, Amy Klobuchar, and yes, even Kamala Harris. And you know what? Not all of them sucked. They were all terrible. They even brought out Bloomberg. They all sucked, and their reset button was always to Biden. But even then, hey, is Biden all there? Is Biden all there? And no, he wasn't. And to be fair, corporate media was talking about it until they finally got the marching orders from Commissariat Hans and his deputy Fritz to follow the orders and read the narrative. Joe Biden can handle it, but he wasn't there.
Waving their hands constantly, waving their hands at the camera. Let me talk. Let me interview. Let me do this. And all the time, Biden was sat there like a cigar store Indian or something. Why was he standing there doing nothing? He never participated in those debates. Maybe there's something about him and doesn't want to debate. I don't know what it is, but he didn't want to engage ever.
Right.
And everybody said, wait, aren't you the one that Jim Clyburn's going to throw into in South Carolina? Aren't you going to win this thing?
What's your theory on that?
Corporate media was given the marching orders to shut up and not say anything about Joe Biden's brain or the fact that he wasn't mentally or physically fit. That's how it works. The same people who control and buy our politicians, both Democrat and Republican, control the media. It's a whole big game. Really, your homework assignment, check out the TV show Succession. You'll see how the system is run, okay? It's a good show. Anytime I could promote it, I'd be more than happy to. It's a great show. It's a great show.
I don't know. He does
Oh, you don't know? Say it again?
win this thing.
What's your theory on that?
I don't know.
You know, here's what I think about
And
it.
here's what I think about it.
Madness.
He doesn't want to engage.
Do you think he's incapable of engaging? I mean, that's 2020. He won
Well,
the
Bernie thought he
presidency.
could do it, and Bernie knows how to jump to the. He's always quick with the tactics. And Elizabeth certainly loves to debate. Why didn't he want to debate? And this is well before the debate of the disaster of this June.
Yeah, I can't answer.
And I think his own staff people say, well, you didn't want to debate back then when you had a couple of people on the left you could have knocked off. Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you challenge them from the middle? Why didn't you do it? You're going to be the nominee, huh?
Yeah.
And I think it's a great question.
This is why Comcast is wanting to let go of MSNBC. And I'm ever hopeful for that, just to see this entire institution fall. Okay. These people did everything they could to form that shield wall. They are part of that great phalanx. But see, the Roman legionnaires of truth were able to break through that phalanx, okay? It didn't stand a chance. It broke. Because when the truth hit it, when all the lies were revealed, and we all know how we feel about lies, right?
All lies will be exposed.
The media participated in covering it up, just like the entire Democratic Party and people in Biden's administration. Biden's debate and his failure was a foregone conclusion.
I don't know if we even the three of us could figure this out about Joe Biden and his decision about not wanting to debate, but he didn't debate in June.
Well, this is a question.
Okay, hold on. Herb Green, Cigar Store Indian. Yeah, that's right. That was that was actually pretty odd right there. Hold on.
And Bernie Sanders were waving their hands constantly, waving their hands at the camera. Let me talk. Let me interview. Let me do this. And all the time, Biden was sat there like a cigar store Indian or something.
Boy, that's pretty. I want to say it's pretty racist. That's pretty bigger than racist right there. You know, why using that? Hold on. Let's say it again one more time. Here, this is a perfect face. He's like, oh no, he's gonna say something outdated and racist. I just know it. Right now, the best thing she could do is keep her mouth shut. That's perfect. She's like, look, that's the face of, oh no, here it comes.
Like a cigar store Indian or something.
Say it again.
All the time, Biden was sat there like a cigar store Indian or something. Why was he standing there doing?
Yikes. Yikes. I bet you too, since this guy's pretty old, he's be like, oh, did I say that out loud? But speaking of speaking things out loud, Mika Brzezinski. Mika, Pika, blink twice if you're in trouble. Okay. Still thinks Joe Biden could have won it and tells why she thinks he should have continued. I think he could have stumbled into it. Oh, he would have fallen right into it.
No, she still thinks he could have
I'll
run
have
and
been
won.
right. So I'm just going to wait for that conversation. So
Well, no, you
Thank you, Susan, for that.
You give your theory that you think he could have won.
Look, everyone.
You're live on air and the internet's forever. So remember, if you're going to say something stupid, live with it.
Knows how I feel. I made it very clear after the debate that I thought he should continue. But that was not what most people wanted. So, but Joe Biden is the kind of person who pulls himself up from rock bottom. And I think he could have stumbled into it. I really do.
Hey, folks, let's have democracy in the chat. You think Joe Biden could have stumbled, stammered, and fallen right into it? Type 1 for yes, Kit, because that's our Joe Biden. Type 2, come on, dude. You know he was heading for failure. I mean, he would have lost more states. And you know what? I'm gonna say this right here, right now. I think if Joe Biden did remain as the nominee, he would have lost more states. His loss would have been far more devastating. All right. I know Kamala Harris, she ran a horrible campaign, but I think if Biden stayed on, if he truly did stay on, it was going to be more devastating for the entire campaign.
People responded very badly when he beat Trump during that campaign to Trump bullying him or going after his remaining son. People stood up for Joe Biden because they knew who he was.
No. People did not stand up for Joe Biden. Okay. You only had vote blue no matter who sycophants do that. Okay. You had so many vote blue no matter who sycophants bullying people and yelling at people. If you don't vote for Biden, you're going to help Trump. Well, guess what? Trump won his nomination in 2024. Trump went through all those legal problems throughout the entire year. Then he won the general election. And I said that he was going to do it way back in 2020. As soon as Biden was sworn in, myself and Daniel, Hard Lens Media, we said, hey, Trump's going to come back. Be ready for 2024. He's going to come back. Y'all better be ready. We were told by so many people, no, you're wrong. You guys don't know anything. Well, I beg to differ, because here we are. You think I want to be right about this? But I could read the room. Joe Biden was never mentally fit to be president. And corporate media went to bat for him. Never forget that MSNBC, CNN, and all those influential people, Hollywood actors and actresses, put everything on the line for somebody who won't even remember where he was 5 minutes ago.
They know who he is. And I think an aging Joe Biden is very self-aware about that. And so is his team around him. And he's still 10 times more qualified than what we've got. And he's qualified to manage the world stage. I think after that disastrous debate, he did a news conference. Remind me, Lemire, was it the NATO summit?
Yeah, a couple weeks later.
NATO
summit was
at
Washington.
8 at night. And yep, he got names wrong. Yep, he had to correct it.
Yes, that's pretty bad. You're the leader of the free world. Hey, Bobby, how you doing? Sir. That's the Prime Minister of Great Britain. Hey, how you doing, Philip? That's not Philip. That's President Putin. You shouldn't say that. Hey, there's Rocket Boy. It's Rocket Man. That's Kim Jong-un. He gets that one right. It's Rocket Boy. No, it's Rocket Man.
Himself a few times, but his knowledge of world affairs was in depth and clear and generated exactly what was the reality that this guy could manage the many different hotspots around the world. And people chose
hotspots around the world. Okay. We're talking about hotspots. You're talking about war zones. Okay, great. Let's talk about war zones. Instigating a conflict with China over Taiwan. Okay. There's also the ongoing continuous war in Ukraine that's been going on since 2022. You have the genocide in Gaza, a ceasefire in Lebanon, and of course, political instability in Syria. Oh, and a little back and forth between Israel and Iran. What could go wrong? Oh, and also instigating sanctions and pushback towards Russia. So what could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Mika Pika. Perfect freeze frame too. At 1 minute 28 seconds in. It's like, really, seriously. The greater the wealth, the greater the insanity.
and generated exactly what.
And that's a correction. From Absurd Anarchist, the greater the wealth, the greater the psychosis. That's from Absurd Anarchist on Rumble. And by the way, shout out to, apparently we got a Rum Boost bot has rated this stream. Well, I hope you bring in more people to the stream. Thank you so much. There you go.
What was the reality that this guy could manage the many different hotspots around the world. And people chose to, filters instead of reality, which was his good president who has historic presidency, who was able to beat Donald Trump. End of story.
I mean, really, even oh, dude, even Morning Blow's looking at you like, really? You want to end off on it? Hold on, let's rewind that.
Who has historic presidency, who was able to beat Donald Trump. End of story.
Look at the paw's face. It's like, really? I mean, I know we're supposed to lie to the American people, but you don't believe that, do you? This This is a marriage made in heaven. I mean, look at it. It's like, come on. He's thinking everything like, I can't believe you said something that stupid. Like, okay, yeah, fine. Joe Biden won in 2020, but did he accomplish anything? No. Things are terrible. And now Trump's back in office again. Say again one more time, Mika.
President who has historic presidency who was able to beat Donald Trump. End of story.
There you go. What's coming up next, Mika?
Oh, thank you. He's like, oh, he didn't say anything. Like, there you go. What's coming up next? I'll tell you what's coming up next. Hey, look, I might have my differences of opinion, but hey, look, we sent $250 billion to Ukraine, and yet we can't get water to fight fires in California. Best Joe Biden ever, period. Remember, that's what was said about this presidency. He's the best Joe Biden, period, ever, period. Done. End the discussion. Tell me again, folks. Tell me again, folks. All right. We need to have a serious conversation about this. This is corporate media lying to you in front of your face. They're going to tell you that if you called out Joe Biden not being mentally fit, you were a liar. And that, oh no, we just didn't see this coming. As someone who's seen firsthand dementia and Alzheimer's, as someone who's seen people fall apart and wither away, it is not something you could ever forget. It stays with you. It traumatizes you. Anyone that's ever been a caretaker, you know what I'm talking about. Joe Biden exhibited those signs. And yet he was put in charge of a global superpower. I am extremely enraged at how this was allowed to happen in the first place. Our politicians let this happen. Our media let this happen. And now they continue to lie. You know, even though this was said in 2024, let it resonate forever in 2025. All lies must be exposed.
All lies will be exposed.
As it should be.